TGC Requiem. We're on the play here. So I actually kind of like this. So if we can go Bayou into Green Sun Zenith and then turn to Quirion Ranger Birch, I think we're alright here. I think this is pretty decent. We'll keep this. And then we just hope to get away with it. Hopefully we have a matchup that this is reasonable. If we draw lands, the opponent goes turn 1 Chalice, we have access with a drawn land to Reclamation Sage. Really, we're looking for Quirion Ranger here. So that would allow us to play out a little more. Granted, that also kind of requires us to draw out a little more. Bloodstain Mire, so assuming we got some sort of Grixis, maybe red-black Reanimator. Yeah, the fact that he's waiting makes me think this is more of a Grixis control, Grixis Delver style deck. Maybe he just wants me to think that. Ugh, that's bad news. That opens the door to drawing that second Crater Hoof. So next turn we have access to 4 mana in Natural Order. And theoretically, the win. This is obviously dependent of what our opponent does. But Quirion Ranger can get us 2 uses out of both the Dryad Arbor and the Bayou. Yeah, so I think we actually have a red-black Storm or red-black Reanimator. Yep, so here comes Iona. here comes Reanimator Exhume. So I considered going to get Deathray Shaman instead of Visionary, but I figured, since we're trying to win the next turn anyway, Deathray wasn't going to be relevant. And, I mean, to be honest, at this point it is not relevant. It could not eat the Iona at the moment anyway. Excuse me. You may exile a black card from your hand rather than play unmasked mana cost. Target player reveals his hand. You choose a non-land card from it. So he can make me discard one of my natural orders. He must not have it. He may not know whether or not. I mean, I should err on the side of people knowing what you can do. But I know some people don't really see all of what elves can do in a given turn. So I have 2 mana on board, but I mean, technically I've got like 5 mana available. So he's got to make a move for it now. I think he maybe doesn't. Yeah, so here comes the Exhume. That's bad news. Really kind of need Deathray Shaman here. He does 7 to 13. We do 4 to 14. He does to 6. Yep. So that's game. Iona's not actually the right play there. So Elesh Norn would be better, but maybe he has Elesh Norn in hand. Alrighty. Not on blue, so no sneak and show in there, so... Or sneak and show and tell. So would not expect Progenitus to be necessary. We're definitely going to bring in Scavenging Ooze. We're definitely going to bring in Surgical Extraction. I don't know that we need Reclamation Sage. Lotus Petals are not necessarily the most ideal thing to blow up, if he's even running Lotus Petals. So I think the black-red version, so I know we saw Sire of Insanity, I'm pretty sure they run Goryo's Vengeance. I think I want to Keep one glimpse. No. Alright. Game 2. Reanimator's scary. Reanimator's the other Legacy deck that I play. I don't have it online quite yet. Don't technically have it in paper. I've got a couple cards that are still proxied, but I'm hoping to fill them out with Eternal Masters. This is not really the right mix, so we can go, yeah, this is not the right mix. We really want Deathrite Shaman, ideally. Thoughtseize and Surgical Extraction is pretty good. I think we can keep this. If you do, each opponent casts his or her first spell again, counter that spell. So I have to cast something into it. So we're gonna do Metal Sentinel. Still have a Surgical Extraction. So the play here is when he goes for the Entomb, eat whatever he entombs, probably Iona or Elish Norn. It's early enough where an Iona or excuse me, an Iona could get us. So I'm not sure why he's fetching for the swamp here. Is Blood Moon something that they try and do out of this black-red build? Sometimes the black-red build can get kind of nasty, like chaining off Dark Rituals to do a lot of stuff. I think black-red is the version that used Tidespout Tyrant to... Oh, that is a real bummer. It's the right play, though. What do you exile in there, buddy? Oh, he's doing himself. Reveals Animate Dead. Dark Ritual. Reanimate. Delta. And Chancellor. Then he discarded the Chancellor. Oh, and he has 4 of them in there. Ooh. How about that? What else do you have, buddy? You've got 1 Sire of Insanity, 1 Elesh Norn, 1 Iona, and 3 Grizzlebrand. So at this point, we're going to definitely run out the Sylvan Library, knowing what he has. Because we are in a race to get something going. We don't need... Do we need Cradle? 4, 9. I think we're just gonna pay 4 life for all this. We don't have to do this on future turns. Do we want to Thoughtseize here? I think we do still Thoughtseize. Get rid of one of these Animate Dead. Try and put him on a bit of a clock here. So we know he only has Dark Ritual. Drew land. Another Surgical Extraction, that's great. We don't need you. We could Surgical Extract the Animate Dead. Probably should have actually left the Surgical Extraction on top last turn. Nope, there we go. Natural Order. That should be lethal. Boom. Alright, game 3. So I think the blue-black version of Reanimator is a little tougher. Not that this isn't. This has got some draws, like turn 1 draws, that are just a little different. I'm pretty happy with what we had there. I don't think there's a whole lot more. We're on the draw, so we definitely don't want more glimpses than this. 4 Nettle Sentinels, which gives us our clock. We can go get a Heritage Druid if we need it. Yeah, I think we're good with this. Progenitus. Deathrite Shaman. So, hopefully our opponent has to mulligan here. He doesn't. So Deathrite Shaman is like the best card we can have. But we are on the draw with 4 land. I just don't think this is quite powerful enough. I know they have very nasty lines that they can do. 2 Green Sun Zenith. So, like, best case scenario is we play out our Deathrite Shaman. He easily could hit us turn 2. Turn 2, we could go get a Green Sun Zenith, really, is all we could do. We wouldn't have the ability to keep mana up. I think we mulligan here. So this looks like this is going to be the turn 1. Gonna get an Entomb. Okay, Thoughtseize. Himself? No, me. Okay. So I'm expecting him to take the Cabal Therapy, but could be wrong. I think our plan here is, if he's attacking our hand, he doesn't necessarily have it, or he was afraid of the Surgical Extraction. So now his question is, does he stop us from ramping out, or does he take our Cabal Therapy? He took the Green Sun Zenith, which means he probably wants us to hold off. Doesn't want us to get a Deathrite Shaman. Faithless Looting now. So if he ends up putting something nice, then we're going to start naming... We are going to have to go with a turn 1 Cabal naming. Reanimate Dead or Entomb. Okay. So definitely just no creatures is what I'm seeing. Exhume, Reanimate dead. So Exhume's definitely the better of the two. So at this point, since he only has 2 cards in hand, I just don't expect him to both pitch a creature and reanimate it this turn. Doesn't mean it can't happen, I just don't expect it. And so I'm happy to not run out the Cabal until I'm more confident with what he has, in terms of having the ability to play Cabal and then sacrifice creature to Cabal a second time. Deathrite Shaman, thank you. I don't think he has Entomb. I think he has Reanimate. Reanimate dead, Reanim, and Sire of Insanity. But no way to get it in there unless he draws a land, which allows him to Faithless Looting. So he needs a spell to get it into his graveyard, and a mana, actually. So even if he were to draw something that allows him to pitch the Sire of Insanity here, yeah, so we just don't need to Cabal Therapy yet. So like even if he draws a land, he can Faithless Looting, but then he still won't have the mana up to do the other half of the reanimation jig. So at this point the damage is better. If we can get Wirewood Symbiote down next turn, then we can start to eat stuff. Probably starting with Faithless Looting. So we have the ability to eat one thing. At his end step, we should at least eat one of these reanimate spells, most likely Exhume. If we get another creature, we're definitely going to want to Cabal Therapy next turn. Actually, I don't know that we need to. Yeah, so he knows, unless he's pointing this at himself, but he should know that I only have a forest in hand. That's interesting. So I think for mana efficiency's sake, we don't want to eat anything here. We know he has the Animate Dead, Sire of Insanity. We don't know what the other card is. So there's his third land, but he doesn't have... Alright, so we can still eat two creatures here. So if he does pitch two creatures... The thing is he doesn't have to pitch two. I mean, we eat whichever one he tries to reanimate in response to his reanimation. And he concedes. Yep. Alright, so 3-2 despite the 0-2 start. That was tough though. I mean, the first match we mulliganed to 4 game 1 against Esper Stoneblade, and game 2 they drew their sideboard cards. Miracles, man, got him down to 1 in the first game. Super tight, super tight. Got him down to 1. And I'm not saying that I played it 100% perfect, because I'm confident I probably didn't. Game 2 though, they double Force of Willed our turn 2 plays. So, and then they got there, because I think they had like a early... early entry, or early enough, because I had 2 spells countered. Anyway, free roll though. That means we're going to get another Legacy League here going, hopefully fairly soon. We'll see you guys later.